All right, click the links for the alternative video platforms or to support the channel. Join the Discord, get on Gap. So Kyle triggers the globalist parasites. Kyle cares about his community. The SJWs on Twitter don't understand why he cares about other people and their property. That concept doesn't even cross their minds. The jury, they just want to burn down small businesses. How dare a fellow citizen stop Antifa from committing crime? Antifa protests, I think, Jacob Blake getting shot by cops by burning down small businesses or looting. Why don't they protest the mayor or the city council? Because Antifa and these globalist mayors are on the same side. Why don't they protest the people who make the laws? The people they elect every year. Keep in mind, if the mayors and governors want to stop the riots, they would just go out, send the police and National Guards out, and handle the situation. Do whatever by any means necessary. If they had to, they would. Yes, you have the right to peacefully assemble. It's in the First Amendment, but note those two words. The prefix to the assembly is peaceful assembly. They would arrest them and fully prosecute them and not catch and release. There's no point in arresting people and just releasing them with no charges. This is a systemic failure of, you've got globalist district attorneys, judges, mayors. It's like people thought society would kind of run itself, and it didn't. And these kind of like termites kind of snuck in and started eroding the structure. That might be a little too base for YouTube. Anyway, so the governors don't want to stop this. Most of Antifa and BLM are low IQ, drug-addicted felons. If you gave them a state to run, or just some region, and with resources too, like a city with farms and whatever, go, okay, here, this is a county. This is out somewhere in Montana. There's farming and ranching and small businesses to run here. We're like a million Antifa people can run it as a socialist experiment, socialist paradise. It would be like the Chaz, but writ large. It would be Liberia, basically Liberia. BLM would be struggle snuggling Antifa pretty much instantly, and then like the individual gangs within BLM would be attacking each other. Because the truth of the matter is, you got to have something. You don't have to call them police, but you have to have sheriffs. You have to have somebody who functions as a sheriff. There's no way to have a civilization without that concept of a sheriff. It's a very old concept. You have to have the king's men, which means, yes, it's a hierarchy. There's agents of the state. There's no way around that, because you got people acting stupid, or intoxicated people, or sociopathic people. You have to have a group of people who follow up on that and take care of that situation, and they have to follow rules of engagement, and then you have to have a legal system to adjudicate when they've overstepped their bounds. There's no way around that. If you think you're going to have some like direct democracy, that's childish. You think you're going to have anarchy. Well, what happens in that is, like, you just have a single strong man, and it would be that you have like BLM groups, Antifa groups, and you'd have one strong man. Basically, it would forming, I don't know what you want to call it, not exactly militias, but it would be like, what it would turn into. It would turn into little fiefdoms, fighting factions. It's like, and they don't have to abide by due process or constitution, because it's just rule of the gun. At least with a constitutional republic, you have some semblance of adherence to a dogma that is the Constitution. And without that, you just have chaos and anarchy and socialism and all this kind of like this stuff. It's like, yeah, maybe if you had a group of like everyone was one tribe, like literally all one greater family of, say, Swedish people went out. Even families fight, where you need somebody to adjudicate a system, and you got to have like a consistent set of rules. That's what a constitution is. It's a consistent set of rules with blind justice. Try to apply it as fairly as possible and do your best. But if you start saying like, oh, we're going to have Swedish and Germans living together, it's like, well, there's going to be friction between them. And like with Antifa and BLM, it's like the friction is insurmountable. There's no way you could have these people living together without a fierce state to control things. And what I just said, it just disgusts them. They're so, or anarcho, whatever. It's like, yeah, that you and I both know. I mean, if you're over 30, that's not going to work. Oh, it could work. listen, if you were all like high IQ Germans, high trust, high IQ Germans all living together, maybe it would work for 6 months before it would devolve into strong families fighting other strong families, Hatfield and McCoy situations. Anyway, a lot of these Antifa BLM people, the useful idiots, they're not all useful idiots. A lot of them are actually low IQ, and I don't mean that as hyperbole. You've seen, there's a ton of video stuff on Twitter of these people at protests, and when they're occasionally will answer questions, like they're idiots. They don't know why they're there. They don't know what they're protesting. They don't have the facts. They don't understand, like they're trying to mesh the elements of their emotion to the elements of law, and they go, oh, he murdered all these people. It's like, no, murder's a legal term. Homicide, killing of a human by another human within a year and a day, a common law, like all these things have legal terms, and they all have defenses. Like, do you want, like Antifa, and they keep clamoring for justice, and what they literally want and advocate for are lynch mobs. It's like popularity contests, and it usually turns out to be anti-white popularity contests. They want to defund the police, so what happens is you'll have private militias and fortified city-states with checkpoints. If you defund the police, you get people like Kyle. There's no way around that. Businesses have to function. They have to, cities have to function. What's the basic requirements for cities? Fresh water and food in, and sewage treatment plants. Like that's from the ground up. How do you function a city? A civilization, a rule of law. Businesses, they want to sell things. They need to have currency of exchange, banks, this kind of concept. You can't have people in America today. There's like $124 million is getting looted with the recent BLM lootings. That's to get around the algorithm, because the lootings are 99% BLM people. You can't have that for very long before the system collapses. Like, you're going to have if stores are wise, they set up double doors with security checkpoints where, like, you buzz someone in the first door, and then you pull down your mask, facial recognition software, and then you're buzzed into the second door. That will prevent flash mobs from coming in, where you have to identify yourself, like hold up a driver's license to the high definition camera. It's like you can build that on a storefront. That's not very expensive to build like a camera system, double door system. You can't simply have people coming in and doing these smash and grab robberies. You're out of business. What did they do? They stole $50,000 worth of merchandise. Oh, like once in a lifetime? No, they're doing it like once a month. Okay, well, you're out of business. There's no way to run. You can't. Oh, well, they're insured. So what happens when you declare $50,000 worth of lost merchandise? Oh, well, your insurance bill just went up by $50,000, or you're canceled. I mean, these people are like, they have this childish concept of life. Anyway, all Rosenbaum had to do to stay alive that night was not chase someone. You don't have the right to even follow someone. It's called stalking. You don't have the right to chase someone. The victim will reasonably fear for his safety and defend himself, up to including lethally. Yes, he was let off because he defended himself from someone who was chasing him. Like, you don't need to know much more about the case other than that, other than someone followed him, threatened him verbally, he ran after them. Rittenhouse feared an imminent battery, the assault fearing reasonable apprehension of a harmful or offensive touching. He turned and he fired. That's self-defense. There's no way. And people see that and they don't understand. He shouldn't have been there. It doesn't matter why he was there. He has the right to self-defense. Anyway, here's my prediction. It's already, I don't know what time it is, 3:30 California time. I don't think they're going to riot tonight, because the guys who got shot, Rosenbaum, Grosskreutz, Huber, nobody cares about them. They weren't black. I don't know what their ethnicity was, but mainly they weren't black. They weren't visibly black. I don't, like, people want free tennis shoes and they want to riot. Like, BLM wants to they just want free stuff. Antifa wants to riot for these guys, but it's like, well, all three of them were felons and Rosenbaum was a kitty diddler. So, like, if you're, oh man, Antifa and BLM, they picked the worst fucking heroes. Like, Floyd, yeah, he home invaded a woman. That's something most people look at and go, oh, yeah, he should have got the death penalty for that. Oh, no. 4 years in prison is fine. No. You can't. like the society Antifa and BLM want to build, anyone who's over the age of 30 looks at it and goes, you have, even if you were given something to run, you would have something that would devolve to Liberia, and then you try to build it back up, and it would look like a modern city because you have to have a police force. You've got bad people doing bad things, and people are different. Different tribes of people behave differently. There's no way to get around that, and it's not politically correct to say that, but the longer people refrain from saying that, the worse things are going to get. And that's as far as I can go on YouTube. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, support the channel if you're able to, and I will see you guys on Odysee and Bit Chute.